My name's Omar. I'm joined by Michael today. Thank you again for attending the Advanced Website Live Designer with me. We're going to go ahead and get started. We'll cover the list of topics. So to begin, we'll be opening up the homepage designer. I'm sure you guys have opened up the homepage designer before, but we'll just be touching on the different views that you can use while designing the homepage and how the columns and content is organized when loading on mobile devices. We'll also be customizing a dynamic carousel widget. If you've poked around with carousel widgets, we're going to take it a next step further by adding a button on the slides themselves and then linking those buttons to, say, an event registration page or a third-party website if you'd like to direct traffic to an organization you're working with. We're also going to cover embedding videos and an HTML form, specifically a Google form, into a global custom widget to use on the homepage, as well as the custom page we'll be building. And speaking of which, we'll be creating a custom page. And after we create that custom page with that mix of global custom widgets, the form and the video, we'll be adding it to the navigation menu and just organizing where that menu item will be placed. And finally, I'll also show us some live websites from our live sites page on our website, just some clubs and districts of varying levels of effort to create. So some are easier to set up than others, and some we've assisted with heavily customizing with our custom website designer service. I just want to mention while I go through the content of the webinar, if you guys have any questions, please submit them to us with the Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom bar. You should see it there. If you click it, a form will open where you can submit your questions through us. Michael will be taking care of all of your questions throughout the webinar, and closer to the end of the session, we'll have a Q&A session where Michael will answer your questions live, and I'll assist with answering questions in the chat. Okay, so thank you again for attending. Let's go ahead and get this started. I'm going to pull up my demonstration account.
Sorry, Omar, just before you get going, I did want to make one additional note before we get started. You guys may have noticed at the bottom of Omar's current slide here, these webinars are being recorded. So if you guys have to jump ship at any point during the webinar, we will be going through and we'll be posting the recordings for these various different webinars that we've been hosting throughout this month onto our clubrunnersupport.com website. So you guys can feel free to review them at any point later on in the year as soon as those have been finished up.
Thank you, Michael.
Sorry about that, Omar.
No, don't apologize. Thank you for your interjection. While we're at it, and while Michael mentioned the recordings, I'll quickly show you guys where we are posting those recordings. Bear with me. There we are. So I've pulled up Greentown, but before I carry on with the webinar, if I pull up a new browser tab and go to clubrunner.com/training and then press enter, this is where you guys would have signed up for our trainings. After processing the recordings, we will update this page with the recording button. So you can come back to this page and just click a view recording button to view that. We will also be posting them in the Club Runner knowledge base at clubrunnersupport.com, this videos and webinars section. So if I go ahead and click videos and webinars, we've got our 2021 changeover training there. We will also upload the 2022 training. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back to our demonstration website. So I've already logged in by clicking the member login in the top right of the homepage, and I've logged in here with Charles Hampton. It's returned me to the homepage designer. Just a quick tip, as a site administrator, once you have that 30 site administrator access level for any custom page or the homepage, if you are logged in, you'll see this orange pencil icon to take you straight to the live designer for the homepage. I won't be clicking it. We'll go through the menu, and I just want to show you guys where you can find that 30 site administrator access level. But as you design the homepage and then pull up the public page on the website that you're working on, if you're logged in, you'll see this orange pencil icon. If you click it, it'll take you to the area to start updating that content on the public website. So let's go ahead and enter the member area. I'm just going to show you guys quickly where you can verify that you have that site administrator access level. Once you're in the member area, if you do have the access level, the site administrator dashboard will pull up. But if you don't and you'd still like to see your access level, you can go to the My Club Runner tab in the very top here, or from the My Club Runner dashlet in the dashboard here, and each version of the dashboard will have this My Club Runner tab. And if you click the Edit My Profile button, it'll pull up your profile. There we are. And from your profile, your access level is stored in the Settings tab. So I'm going to go ahead and click Settings just below the profile picture here, and we can verify that the account I'm logged in with has that 30-site administrator access level. Okay, and one other item I want to touch on before we jump into the Live Designer and start updating the homepage and building a custom page is the website settings. And to get to those from the top blue bar, I'm going to click Website just in between Attendance and New Website Beta, and then Website Designer in the gray bar just below. And from here, we can open up the settings page from this gray menu on the left side of the page. So if I click that, we're brought to this settings page. Michael does have some example questions that'll go into more detail about setting up your Google Analytics. What I really want to highlight from this page is your website contact, which is what appears on your built-in contact us form on the website, as well as as well as the meta tags just below in this website section. You can edit any meta tags. So if you'd like to enter keywords for your website to be searched on search engine betters, you can enter those. I'm going to go ahead and just click it. I know Michael has some content about that, some questions about that, but I'll just quickly show you guys here. If I go to that edit meta tags page and then click this orange add button, we can enter more keywords for the website with this style of formatting. I believe we can just enter the text, say Rotary, and then I could go comma organization and so on to build up the keywords that people can search for and find your website. So after you finish designing your website, definitely check out this meta tag page in the website settings. Okay, I'm not going to save this update. We already have some keywords saved to the website. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the homepage designer. And to get there, I'm going to click the new website beta module in the top blue bar, then homepage designer in the gray bar just below. There we are. So I've pulled up our current homepage, and before I start working on the carousel, I just want to show you guys these preview icons at the top. So currently we're in the preview desktop, or I guess I should verify here. Let's go ahead and click preview desktop. There we are. So now it's expanded the screen across without that content section on the right side, and we can see how it looks. You'll see the dimensions that are pulled up for the monitor in the top right. Because it cannot fill up the full screen and has these paddings on the top and sides. It wouldn't be exactly how it looks, but it does give you a good idea. And of course, while editing the homepage, if you click Edit and we return to the designer, you can also view the live page after any publishes by clicking this View Live Page button, and that'll also show you how it looks like on a monitor. So I'm going to go back to the designer and we'll try out the other views. I'm going to click this tablet preview. And as soon as I click that tablet preview, we can see how the website is organized for those mobile views. The content from the primary top column and middle column is placed at the top, and then the content from the left column is placed just below, and then the content from the right is placed below that. And we'll check the homepage designer to verify, but just quickly starting from the top, we've got our carousel, our club meeting information. This is the embedded Facebook plugin. It can't display in previews as it's trying to pull HTML content that would sort of conflict with the designer, but if we view the homepage, we'll see that. And then we've got the club stories and projects and mini calendar and so on. I won't go through all of them. Let's just quickly verify the top 3 widgets are actually how they are on the designer and on the homepage. So if I click edit again, there we are. We can see that the carousel from the very top is the first thing that is placed in the mobile view, then the primary main column. If you guys have a different layout, say going to our layouts here, you have a full width full width top band, but with a left primary column. That left primary column will be placed just below these top two layout sections, and then any remaining content is placed in the mobile view from left to right. So we've got our club meeting information, that Facebook widget that can't display in the Live Designer, the club stories and projects, and then right after that in the mobile view was the mini calendar, club events, and so on. It'll finish this column and then move on to the right column, and that will be the full mobile view. And just to show you guys this blank but Facebook plugin widget, I'm going to go ahead and pull up our homepage. And if I scroll down, this is that same Facebook plugin widget. I'll show you guys how you can get that on the homepage actually. So let's go ahead and go back to the designer. I'm done with the layouts. Definitely try these out with the preview. So if you want to see how those would look on, say, a tablet or mobile device, a cell phone, you can try those previews out in the top here. The mobile is very similar. I skipped over it, but it organizes the same, the top columns, then your primary column, and then the remaining content from left to right, just quickly scrolling through the mini calendar, and then the right column with the ad and logo. So I'm going back. Let's go ahead and get a new Facebook plugin widget on our page. So from the content tab in the top right, I'm going to shrink down this pre-formatted widgets section and then pull up our, I believe it is essentials grouping. Pardon me, it is not. I believe it is our bulletin NPR. Just double checking here. There we are. So in that bulletin NPR, we can drag and drop this Facebook page plugin widget onto the page. So I'm just going to go ahead and plop that in right here. And from the widget, to set the Facebook page that it pulls content from, we would hover over it and click this gear icon in the top right. And from this properties for Facebook plugin widget, we can scroll to this Facebook URL section. And from here, your Facebook page will typically have the format www.facebook.com, but the last bit of / and then your actual page name would be entered here. So for us at Club Runner, we have our own Facebook page. So I'll enter Club Runner and save it. Before I save, you do have some options to show events, messages, a timeline. I like these options. And if you'd like to include, say, to shrink down the header size, you can do that. The header is the top banner of your Facebook page, and you have some other options to hide the cover photo and show the friends of your page on the widget. I'll leave it with just these tabs showing, and click this orange save button, and we've saved the widget. Again, it doesn't appear in the Live Designer as there is HTML content that just conflicts with how the designer is organized. But once we publish it to the page, we will see our new widget. I have replaced it, so it would just appear the same. So if I refresh, maybe there is a slight difference. No, I've just replaced the widget with the exact same widget, but definitely try that Facebook plugin widget on your page. Again, to customize it, it's that gear icon in the top right. And then if you scroll down, it's that Facebook URL to choose where the content is being pulled from Facebook. Okay, let's go back to the dynamic carousel. So we've got a quick carousel thrown here at the top. I'm just going to click this outbound arrow icon while hovering over the widget to edit it further. There we are. So this is the details for a dynamic carousel. By default, you should have one at the top of your homepage. If you don't, let's go back and add a new one. If you don't have that widget added, you can pull up the carousels grouping from the content tab here. And as we can see here, there are a few saved dynamic carousels, but you can create a new one with the plus icon in the top right. You can also preview any existing saved ones by clicking this magnifying glass in the top right. So I've clicked it. This one seems formatted a little strangely, but we can try another. It is also previewing strangely, but you can also just drag them onto the page to see what they look like. And if you don't like how they look, you can always X them out or click that outbound arrow icon to edit their content. So I'm going to work with the one we have here. So I'm just going to hover over it and click that outbound arrow icon. We're back on the details for homepage carousel page. I would like to include a button and a link on at least 2 or 3 of these slides. To add a new slide, we can click this blue upload slide button or add multiple slides with this blue upload multiple slides button. I won't go through that. If you've uploaded images before, it works similar. You would open up the File Explorer, select File, and then press Open, and it'll appear here. We're going to edit the existing slide to get that button and link on the very first one to begin with here. So I click that edit link for the first slide. It's brought me to this edit slide page. I'm going to scroll to the bottom, and I will check this show description, slow slide description, pardon me, on the carousel. So this will enter the text that we enter onto the image. So I'm going to go ahead and say, click here to open our donation page, for example, or you can include another other text to link to elsewhere. I'm just going to link this to our donation page. So I'm going to highlight this text that I've entered for the description and then click this link editor tool. And I know the URL, it is the donation page isn't amongst this link type list, and we are working on that, but I will just enter the URL. I'm going to pull up the home page, and we've included the URL right here in the navigation menu. If I click donate to our club, this donation page opens, and I can copy the address by right clicking and then copying, then going back to my edit slide with that link dialog and then pasting that text in. And if I click the green OK, we've linked that text on the slide. I'm scrolling down. We can also add a label for the slide, which would appear as a button. For example, click me to open Google. So this is a second button instead of text for the slide. So you have two boxes that you can really place on each slide. So I'm going to have the button appear as click me to open Google with the custom page URL being https google.com. Okay, but you can also use this link type dropdown similar to that link editor tool to select, say, a built-in page or event if you guys have one created, and then you can link to that event. Actually, let's link to the fish fry now that I've selected it. So click me to open our fish fry registration. Okay, and finally we have a button style option, primary and secondary, and these colors for these button styles are controlled by the home page's theme. And I didn't go over that, but I'll touch on that when we go back to the homepage designer. So I'm going to keep it primary, but the colors for these styles are set by your theme, and I'm going to have it open in a new window, so they're not taken away from the homepage. It opens in a new browser tab. So let's go ahead and check that setting and click this orange save button. There we are. So we've added a link and some text to our slide. I should clarify, a button as well as some link text to the slide, and each are going to different places. We can do the same for other slides added. Let's quickly add a third label. So I've gone to the second slide. I've clicked that edit link on the right side of the page. I'm on that edit slide page. I'm going to go ahead and just say click here to open our changeover event registrations. We have another event that is also created. So similarly, I'm going to use that link type, then select events, and then below I'm going to use the secondary button style just so we can see what those look like. And again, I'll have the link open in a new tab. Let's go ahead and save this update. That's as much as I'm going to edit for the slides. Let's go back to our homepage designer with this go back link. There we are, and we can see the button that I've added to the first slide, click me to open our fish fry registration, and then the text. I guess I should color it a little better. If you look closely, it's there in gold. It doesn't look very good. Let me change it to white so it sticks out in that slide better. So I'm going to go back and click this outbound arrow icon, then edit the first slide. It's this text that's sort of being hidden and hard to see. So I'm going to go ahead and click that edit link. And let's go ahead and highlight this text and change the text color. There we are. I'm going to change it to white so it really sticks out from that dark blue background. And it will stop appearing in this preview because the background is white, but once we save it and we look on the home page, we should see that it does stick out a little more. Actually, let's also bold it just so that it really sticks out. So I'm come back here and I'm just going to bold it and then save that update, and clicking the go back link. There we are. It sticks out much better. We can see the click here to open our donation page and click me to open our fish fry registration. Do note, if you're looking to draft your website changes and not release them. So say you're not completely happy but want to show another executive or website administrator what you're working on, and if they have any feedback, you do not have to click the publish button. You can leave these changes as they are. If I pull up the home page and refresh the page just to make sure we are using the most, oh, it looks like I published these updates to the carousel widget, but typically if you're working in the designer, if you don't press this publish button, that content will not be published. I wonder if there was a way I could have saved it as a draft. It doesn't look so, and I know the reason that this widget published to the homepage. It's because this widget's content is managed through this interface, and when we save that content, the widget's information and how it appears on the website is published immediately. But say you move the widget around or you add a text widget but don't publish that update. Say we add another carousel. So I've added one. I think it should appear here. And then we can say move this logo to the very top. I haven't pressed the publish button. If I pull up the home page and refresh the page, that logo that I've moved to the top middle column doesn't appear, and that second carousel doesn't appear. But if I go back to the homepage designer and publish these updates and then return to the homepage designer, yep, so that blank carousel widget appears, but we've also moved that logo. So you don't have to press that publish button if you're not happy with the updates. You can just leave those updates in the designer for somebody else to review, and you guys can work on the homepage together before pressing that orange publish button. I know I've received quite a few questions about how do we draft changes to our homepage. Well, that's how you can do it. You can just work in the designer, not click that orange publish button, and just save the changes in the designer. So I'm going to remove this blank carousel widget from the page and move back our logo. And I guess I should touch on that. I'm moving our widgets by hovering over them, and in the top left, clicking and grabbing this 6-dot icon and then moving it into place. I want it in this right column. I have to go down a little more, but if I move my cursor up now, the green drop here box appears. If I let go, it drops into place. Okay, we're almost wrapped up with the homepage designer, and then we'll move on to creating a a custom page with an embedded video. So let's just test those links on the homepage. I'm going to publish fixing our homepage here, and then we'll test those buttons and labels that I've created here. So back on the homepage, I'm going to refresh. You can also, from the designer, click this View Live Page button, and that'll open up your published page if you've published it. And here we can test that link. I'm going to click here. It should open up our donate page. There we are in a new browser tab. So we've got our original homepage that we came from, and this is the new donation page tab. If we can go ahead and select our donation and make the donation. I'll skip over that. So I'm going to close out this donation tab, and I've also included this fish fry registration button. If I click this button, it takes us to the Fish Fry and Club Barbecue event that was created in our club executives webinar, if I recall correctly. So that's how you can link a button on the slides, as well as enter text in that description, links in those description. If for those of you who are keen, there was also an image button, so you can have your slide have another image on it, which you could say put in another button image and then link that button image to another item on the website. So if you'd like to fill up one slide with a few buttons, you can use that description text box to do so. So I'm going to go ahead and close out our links. Let's create a new event page for I'm going to call it a fun run raffle, where people who have previously registered for events can sign up for the raffle, but they'd have to enter their information again using an embedded form, just first name and last name, and the club would use those form answers to verify they've previously registered for an event, and now they have a pool of raffle registrants for the online raffle. So let's get started on that. I'm going to return to the member area with this member area link in the top right. And from the top blue bar, I'm going to select new website beta, then custom page library. We're going to view all of the custom pages first. There we are. Looks like a few custom pages have been created for the account, but not all of these pages have been linked to the website. So they may exist on the website at their URL, but they're not easily navigable. We'll create a new page and then include that in the navigation menu so that people can easily access it. So in the top right of the custom page library, I'm going to click this orange Create New Page button. our templates will appear. If your club has any saved templates, you can find those in this My Templates grouping at the top. There are no templates saved for our account, but I can show you guys how to do that. Let's go ahead and return to our regular templates. I'd like to begin with a blank slate. To use a blank page, I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom here, and we've got our blank template right here. So I'm going to go ahead, select it, and click the orange Next button. There we are. And to begin, let's title our page. And to do that, from the top right, I'm going to go to the Properties tab, then enter, say, Fun Run Raffle. And as soon as I click out of the title, our permalink for the page, the website address for the page will be built for us. So I've clicked out. I'm going to press OK to have the system update the permalink. And there we are, Fun Run Raffle. Scrolling down, we can enter the page tab title. And this tab title is this same title that appears in the browser tab. So you'll see I'm hovering over it here. This is our donation module page. It has the title donation. For this one, I want the title Fun Run Raffle without an exclamation mark. Okay, and finally, from the properties box, say you're working on a page that only members should access, you can set the access level to requires login so that if a visitor pulls up the page on your website, a login form would appear first before they'd be able to view the content. I'm setting this page up for a fun run raffle where any visitor to our website who has registered for a previous event can sign up for the raffle. So I want this to be public. And finally, you have this owner name field. If you were to say set a member who has the regular 70- member access level as the owner of the page, they would be able to access the page from the custom page library and make edits. So you don't necessarily have to give somebody the 60 editor access level to access the custom page. You can enter their name here and they'll have access to assist with updating that custom page. So I'm going to leave the owner name out. We're not going to log into another profile with lower access level. We're the site administrator. We're going to work on getting these forms and videos on this page and then linking it in the navigation menu. And if we'd like the video to be on the homepage, we'll set it up that way too. So I'm going to save the updates to the new custom page here. I have saved the updates. We don't see the title update here. We do see the title update here, but if I refresh the page, that will also update the page title. There we are, Fun Run Raffle. To begin, let's get a video in the page. By default, when you create a custom page, a new page-specific custom widget is created for the page. So from that content tab, I've opened up custom widgets page-specific. Here's our default widget for the page. It's blank as it is right now, but we're gonna work in it, but you can create your own page-specific custom widgets, which are only for this page, or global custom widgets, which can be used across the website. So I'm going to use a new one. It looks like we have some embedded video global custom widgets already. These weren't created for this custom page. They were created as global, so we can reuse, but I'd like to show you guys how you can get your own video in. So let's go ahead and drag in a new global custom widget. I'm going to close out this page-specific widget by default for the page. I'm just going to remove it from the custom widget. I'm just going to quickly give it a title. I'm going to title it Fun Run 2021 video. I don't have a Fun Run 2021 video. I'm going to use our Club Runner mobile app video instead. I will show the title, and I want the title to be center aligned. So let's go ahead, highlight that title from the title field and click this Align Center. And let's bold it as well. I'm just going to use this bold tool. Okay, we're done with the title. I want it to appear. That's really all we're going to have for the settings here. Let's go ahead and save that. There's our title. I guess I should specify, you can edit the custom widgets in two ways. If you hover over it and click this pencil icon, you're given this Live Designer toolbox. It doesn't have all of the features like the full custom widget or website story editor if you've created that content before. To access all of those tools for a custom widget, we're going to click out to unselect it. Then I'm going to hover over back again, and instead I'm going to click this outbound arrow icon to be taken to the full editor for the custom widget. Pre-formatted widgets don't have this full editor. I should note while I'm showing you guys here, but custom widgets do have this full editor tool. So let's go ahead, click that full editor tool. Looks like the system's having me decide between two similar versions of the widget. I may have clicked into it. I did click into it. It thinks I made a change. I didn't. Let's just edit the draft version. Scrolling down, I'm going to remove this default text content, and I'm going to use this embed media tool to embed a video. Let's go ahead and pull up a third-party website you would upload the video to. So if you've got any videos, say on your camera device, you would upload those to Vimeo, YouTube. I think Instagram could work as long as the third party has the embed share option. And I'll show you guys that here. I'm going to open up a new tab, go to youtube.com. And from here, I'm going to search for the Club Runner mobile app video. There we are. And from here, I'm going to go to the video on the platform. I'm going to click it. I'm going to pause the ad that's playing. From the video, I'm going to click this share option. And it's really this tool we need. It's this embed tool. As soon as I click it, this view for the video appears. I can highlight and copy the text for the embed, or I can click this copy link. I just want to note, you can start the video from a certain point using YouTube's interface. If you check this box, you can enter, say, 1 minute and have the video start at 1 minute. I'm going to have it start from 0, 0. Oops, I'm just going to unselect that. There we are. And you can also have the option to hide the player controls so that people can't pause the video or rewind or forward it or select another video. So I will leave the player controls just so we can see how that appears on the website. The last step here is just to click this copy button and it'll highlight it. My browser mentions the link has been copied, so we're good. Let's go back to our designer. So I'm back in my designer. I'm going to click the embed media tool and then right click and paste and press OK. And the video is there. I would like to center align this. So what I'm going to do is I have my cursor. It's probably hard to see there, but there's a flashing black line. That's where my cursor is. I'm going to move the cursor to the left side of the page by pressing my left arrow key. And it's still faint to see, but it's on the left side. And now I'm going to middle align the video. There we are. So now it's aligned. I did that by moving my cursor to the left side and then using the left center align tool. Let's go ahead and save our video, or our fun run video widget that we can now reuse on the website. It appears in this iframe as it's not playable from the designer, but once we publish it, it will appear. And I guess while I'm designing this page and making it so that people can view and fill out a form, I should talk about layouts. From the layout section, I actually like our default layout that we've created for this blank page, which is this full width top band above rest bands. It's just a full column of just bands of content you can include. And then you can add more widgets into that same column. So if I drag a new video, I can plop it above or below. And this is a more modern style I'm finding with newer accounts for their homepage or flyer pages specifically. They just use a single column and then have all of the content appear in that full width row so that all the visitor needs to do is scroll down and read and view that content. So do try out the layouts, but I'm finding more and more people are really liking this full width top band for flyer pages or your home page, just so that all the content has its room to breathe and all visitors need to do is just scroll down through it. It also helps keep the page less content dense so that people aren't reading everything that is added in 3 columns. So just a tip for designer. I'm going to keep this single column full width column layout. Let's go back. The next step is the form for the Fun Run raffle. So I've logged into this Google account for Charles Hampton. How you would create a form in Google specifically is I'm just going to open up a new tab, and from this page in Google, I can click this app icon in the top right. If we scroll down to all of these tools, the finance doc sheets, at the very bottom, you'll have this Forms, Google Forms tool. If we click that, we can create a custom form. I have this untitled form. I'm not going to work on the form with us over the designer. I have one prepared. I just want to show you guys how you can get the code for it. So I'm going to click to open the form that is being worked on. Okay, I'm going to close out that dialog there. I want this send tool. So I'm going to go ahead and click send. I'm not actually sending. This is not a complete, but it's that same embed icon that I'm looking for. If I click that embed tool, I can copy the iframe code or just click this copy button. And let's go back to our designer. Now that I've copied this form, I want to use this untitled form. I have a saved completed form for the Fun Run raffle, so I'm copying that on my other desktop monitor. Let's go back. It looks like my homepage designer is still open. I want my custom page designer. Here we are. We're going to make another global custom widget, fun run sign up. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new global custom widget, though I could reuse one of these if it's old or is no longer in use, just to keep the volume of widgets down. Let's do that. I'm going to close out this one and let's just drag on. Let's try this accordion menu. I'm really just a jack in the box here. There we are. So it's just some selection content. It doesn't look like it's functional. Let's go ahead and go to that full editor and replace the content with the form. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to remove this content that's already added to the widget. I am going to check this source mode for it. The source tool shows you the content that's added to the widget in HTML code. So if you are an HTML developer or you have some experience, just a handful of working knowledge, but you know how to say include an image link, you can turn on that source view by clicking the source tool, and any HTML content that is added to the widget will appear. Here it looks like some styling has been saved. I don't want this styling to affect my form, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight all of it. Oopsie doodle, there we are. And I'm just going to delete that. And now we're working with a blank slate. So now I know nothing else will appear, just my Google form. I'm going to turn off that source view, then go to this embed media tool and paste my Google form code, then click OK. And the form, there we are, it does preview in the designer. I am going to go ahead and replace this title with Fun Run Raffle Sign Up form. Okay, and we've saved that. Let's remove the exclamation mark and also middle align it. So I've highlighted, I'm going to middle align it. Oops, I have to use, pardon me, I have to get my cursor into place. There we are. I think it's working. So we're good with the form. I'm going to go ahead and save and publish this. I suspect the form will be left aligned. I may have to fix that. Yes, it looks like the form is left aligned, so we'll fix that. I'm going to go ahead and edit the widget again. So I'm hovering over our new Fun Run Raffle sign up form. I'm going to click that outbound arrow icon again. I'm going to do the same trick. I've selected the content once, and then I'm pressing my left arrow key to move my cursor to the left side of the page. And then I'm going to click this center align tool. There we are. And I'm going to save the update. Okay, so I've centered aligned that form. It doesn't appear on the live designer, but we can publish it and have it appear. The last item I'd like to add to our custom page before we publish it is a donate button. So from our designer, I'm going to scroll past all of the form questions. It looks like it's quite tall. I didn't realize how many questions I'd put in. I think it was only 4, but it seems quite tall. I'm going to add a button image and then link that button image to our donate page, similar to how I did it for the dynamic carousel. So I'm going to have this donate button only be for this fun run page. Let's go ahead, click the custom page specific widgets. I'm going to drag in a new one. Let's go ahead and just drop it. Oh, there we are. Drop here. And again, I'm going to first retitle the widget. We can also do that from the full editor. Let's go ahead and just get there. So I'm going to click that outbound arrow icon, Fun Run Donate button is the title. I will center align it, but in this case, I think I want to hide the widget title, and we'll do that from the properties. So I have centered aligned that. Let's go ahead, delete the default text. I'm going to add a new image to this custom widget by clicking this image editor tool. Then from the image properties, browse server. So I pulled up the My Images folder. I did mention this in the website content webinar, but you can organize your images by right-clicking and then creating a new subfolder from that My Images folder. Then you'll have all of these subfolders. You can select the subfolder and either move images from one folder to another by dragging and dropping, or opening up the folder and clicking this green upload button. I'm going to add a new donate button. For example, if you have like a graphic designer working at the club who works on really nice graphics, you can upload them to a sorted file. I'm going to use this custom donate button. I'm going to go ahead and open that. There we are. There's the button. I'm going to add it to the page. It looks to be about sized correctly. 300 width is pretty large, but in relation to the other content, I think it's good. Let's go ahead, click OK. That looks about right. I'm also going to center align this. Again, I'm just going to highlight it, press the left arrow key on my keyboard, and then click the center align tool. And the last step here is to link it to the donate page. And we can do that by highlighting the image, clicking the link editor tool, and getting that donate page URL. So I'm going to go back to the donation page that I pulled up on our homepage, which we've added to the navigation menu here. And I can click that item, there we are, and then highlight the website address, copy it, and there we are. There, I'm back in the designer for that custom widget. I'm going to paste in the URL right here, click OK, and we've now linked that donate button to the donate page on our website. Let's save and publish the widget. Okay, and we're effectively done. I've got my page title. Perhaps I want to keep the page title. Actually, no, I like how the content sort of aligns here. Let's just get rid of the video title for the widget. I guess while I'm here, I mentioned that you can access the properties through this gear icon. I need to remove the title for the button. I'm going to remove video. I want this to be the page's title instead of our page title in the top left here. So I'm going to highlight this widget's title and size it even larger. Even larger. There we go. Let's save it and see what that looks like. That looks good. I'm going to turn off the page title from the properties tab for the custom page and check this box to hide the page title, then save the update. There we go. And the last thing is to turn off that donate button title for this custom widget. I'm going to click the properties tab, scroll down to the header section, and then uncheck the show title button or show title checkbox and save that update. There we are. And I wonder if I can get rid of that top. So if you'll notice, the theme from our homepage designer has added this top yellow gold line across the top of the widget that is controlled by the theme of your homepage, and you can change your theme to have the widgets appear differently. I just want to see if we can try the border properties here. Let's try it, the border style, and just change it to none, and then click save. Okay, it doesn't seem to, oh, there we go. So that top bar for the border from our theme has been removed for this widget. So we're good. I like it this way. Let's save the properties. I'm pretty sure I already saved them. The last step here is to publish the page. So I'm going to go ahead and publish the custom page. There we are. I can view our page on the website by clicking this View Live Page button. Perfect. And at the very top, we've got our Fun Run 2021 video widget. I can play it right here from the page. I'm going to click it. I hope an ad doesn't play, but I'll stop it if it does. Very good. So it plays. There are guides on YouTube about embedding videos where you can hide these video suggestions. And I did mention you can hide these tools so that if somebody opens up the page, they don't have the option to pause or stop the video, and no pop-ups would appear. So you can do that from YouTube, but there are ways to specifically get suggestions out of the video while keeping the controls. YouTube does have more information about embedding videos, and you can see there are articles about that. I'm going to scroll down to test our form. I've got the Fun Run raffle sign up. I embedded that Google form. Looks like my email address is appearing here. That's fine. And we've got some questions for the form. So I've entered a description. This is our Fun Run raffle sign up. Please note, in order to qualify, you have to have been at a previous event, and from there they can enter their first name, last name, and so on. They can fill out the form. And I've made these other questions not required, so we can skip over them and then click the purple submit button in this case. If I click that, the form's answers have been submitted to the email address set for that Google form. And that's set when designing the form again from your Google account. If you have one, if you're signed in, you can create those forms from this forms button here. Okay, and the final thing to test for this page is the donate button. If I scroll all the way to the bottom, there it is. It's really just an image that I've linked to the donate page. If I click that button, it takes us to the donate page if they'd like to donate to our fun run. So we've set up the custom page how we like. It is not easily available on the website. The only way somebody from the homepage could find this page is by searching fun run, and hopefully they can find that page. There it is, Fun Run Raffle, and they can pull it up. But I'd like to make it easier for them to find that. Let's add it to the event flyers folder. And I guess while I'm here, let's use that that icon from the homepage designer. So we worked on this custom page. I can go right back to working on the custom page by clicking this pencil icon. We're done with the custom page. Let's work on the homepage and get to that navigation menu. So I'm going to go back to the homepage and then use that orange pencil icon. There we are. We're in the homepage designer. From here, I'm going to go to the very top navigation menu and click this edit navigation. I'm just going to throw it in with this orange add new menu item button, but we are going to reorganize just this item. So I'm going to go ahead, add new menu item. And here I'm going to type in fun run raffle sign up, exclamation mark, why not? And the link type in this case is our custom page. So we've got that custom page link type, and a new pages dropdown will appear where we can select Fun Run Raffle. There we are. And I'm going to have this be a regular link. Yeah, let's keep this regular, and I will leave this open in new window off so they are navigating around the page. Let's go ahead and save this. And going back to the manage homepage menu, if I scroll down, I wanted it here, but it's not here. It should be right here, Fun Run Raffle Sign Up. Let's move this into place. And to do that, from the left here, I'm going to click and drag these 3 dots icons and move it into event flyers. There we are. We can also create a new folder within event and calendar by clicking that blue add menu item link and then adding another folder, but I'll have it live in that events flyer folder. And similar to the homepage designer, if you're just adding widgets and text onto those widgets in the designer, those wouldn't appear until we click this publish menu button. Just to show you guys, I'm going back to the homepage and I'm refreshing the page. Events and calendar, event flyers, it doesn't appear here yet, but if I go back to the manage homepage menu and publish the menu and then click OK, now we can see that if I refresh the page and go back here, event flyers, fun run raffle sign up, and if I click, it pulls up the custom page we've designed with that embedded video, that embedded form to collect responses to an email or something not like volunteers because we have a volunteer sign up, but or unlike an events registration, just something different. You can just use Google Forms for and then add to your custom page or homepage. And finally, that donate button. Okay, and that wraps up the advanced website content. I hope you guys took away creating forms, really embedding videos onto your website to get those clicks and have people view, and thinking about how you'd like to style your new pages so that there's not an overwhelming amount of text content, but are just kept brief with a video or an image at the top, a quick form to collect information from the visitor or information about your event, and maybe a link to a document, and then another call to action, a button or something that directs them to another place on your website. And that's a good style of getting those visits, viewing that content on your website, getting that information from the visitor, and then sending them over to the next step, the next process. Okay, so that wraps up the designer portion of the webinar. The next thing I want to show you guys are some varying level websites. So I'm going to start with websites that don't need a lot of effort to get started from their homepages. We'll click a few links, but we won't really drill down on each of these accounts. I'm just showing you some examples to give you guys inspiration for your own club accounts. So let's go ahead. I'm going to close out these designer tabs just so that I don't work with an overwhelming amount of tabs here. I'm going to open up a new tab, and I'm going to start with a non-for-profit organization, the Royal Rosarians. I'm going to go ahead and copy this link address from my lesson plan and go ahead and enter it, royalrosarians.com. So this is their homepage. They've just added a custom widget without a title at the top of their website with an image banner just below their navigation menu. And they're using this. It's not a carousel, just one standard image people can just rest their eyes on. If you scroll down, here's where they've added their carousel. They've included some text on some images, and they have a list of events on the left side of the page. This looks to be a manually managed upcoming events list. They're just entering in the text and then highlighting the text and linking it to another page. If you guys are really using the events module to create events, you could set up the events and then put in your events widget here, or you can do something similar where you manually create those pages and registrations and then update this custom widget on the page with the links to those pages, though that would be manual, but it looks like they're happy manually choosing what appears there. But you can use the upcoming events widget from the events grouping in the content tab to have something more automatic. They also have their club executives and directors widget on the left side, and it looks like they have a homepage stories widget just below. So they're using that homepage stories widget that pulls stories from the website story library and pulls them to the homepage. And they've only kept, it looks to be 2 stories here, no more than 2 to keep the page brief. And if we go to the very bottom, they've got some links to their Facebook page, YouTube, and their contact us information. They could also use the contact us form that comes with the website, but it looks like they really want people to see how they can contact them. So they've added this contact us widget. And this would be pretty, I don't want to say simple to set up. I mean, they have many pages and links in their navigation menu that they've spent time to create, and then these links on the homepage. But to get an overall website like this, it's not too bad. You just drag on a custom widget, throw in that image, delete the title, any text, and then work on that carousel widget, throw in the website stories, club executives in the left-hand column, and then another text widget and some links. And they've got an image at the bottom in another custom widget that goes across the bottom, and they've kept their footer brief. So definitely look for more inspiration from not just this website. I have more. So let's go ahead, close out the Royal Rosarians. I'm going to pull up Legoleg Triangle Rotary. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm probably not. So I'm going to open up a new tab and I'm going to paste it in. I'm not going to embarrass myself by saying that. Gola Rotary. Oh my God, I have embarrassed myself. Let's just enter and see what they've got here. So for them, it looks like they have just a standard image at the top. It looks like a designer had created this page. Oh, it is a carousel, but it seems to just be the one image. But it looks like they've had a designer create this logo and then have a background as an image with, say, an event, and also this custom sort of wrapper design to show the next slide, though there isn't it doesn't seem to be a next slide. If we scroll down, they've got a COVID notice, but they've kept their website brief. Is really my point here is with these homepages is they've got that image to catch the eyes, a notice or message, a list of events or speakers in this case, and then either a homepage stories widget that just pulls in the stories, or in this case, it seems to be a double text column widget. It's one of those pre-formatted widgets with 2 text boxes. They've added an image at the top, some bolded text below, and links then. And then from there, those links go to, in this case, a custom page. I'll click that. It goes to this home for a holidays custom page. Going back to their homepage, it looks like they have another link that goes to a site page, which is a different style of page in Club Runner. They have it has the sub menu with different folders and content for those pages in that menu. Okay, so that's Legoleg Triangle. Let's move on. I'm going to show you guys Richmond Rotary next. So I'm just copying the address. Let's go ahead and close out this website and open up Richmond. I'm going to go ahead and press enter, richmondrotary.com. Similar to that layout style that I mentioned, they're really sticking to one main column, in this case with a widget that has 3 pictures, but after that, they're just using the right primary and left column. It looks like the stories have sort of trailed on here. There is a way to limit how many stories widgets or stories the stories widget pulls, or you can use a different layout like we have for Greentown, which limits the vertical space. Let me show you guys. So let's go back to the Fun Run raffle page. If I go to the top and then click home, we have the club stories and projects widget using the scrollable layout. So instead of scrolling down indefinitely or until the limit set for the widget, they scroll sideways, and that way it doesn't take up all that real estate on your homepage. So something to keep in mind if you have a lot of stories you'd like to paste on the homepage or post on the homepage, you can choose this layout. I am talking about it, so let's go ahead and show you guys how you would set this scrollable layout. I'm going to click this pencil icon to edit the homepage. There we are. I'm going to scroll down, and here is our homepage stories widget. It's in the essentials category. This essentials category, homepage stories. This is the same widget. I'm going to click the magnifying glass just to preview it. There it is. We can see that scrollable layout. I'm going to hover over it and click the gear icon while it's on the Live Designer to select a layout. And from this properties dialog, if I scroll all the way to the bottom, we get the settings and I can choose the layout. So if I were to go to regular and then save that, this is the style that a few of the other accounts are using, where the stories sort of just vertically post up to the items to display number. Let me show you guys that as well. I'm back in the properties. If I scroll all the way to the bottom, here's our items to display, 6 total stories. So they could set a limit, say 3, but I like the scrollable layout, which gets more stories in, but in less real estate. So let's go ahead and resave that update. Okay, I've returned it to how it was. Let's go back to our examples. We're back on richmondrotary.com. So they've kept that nice right sidebar layout with the left sidebar and right primary. And they've kept that starting information brief. It's just that this homepage stories widget seems to go on a bit, but that can be fixed with editing the properties or setting a limit to the stories. They also have a few folders to get people to click around. It looks like they have a link to their district's event calendar too, something to keep in mind while you're designing your website. If you'd like your visitors to sign up for district events, you can just go up to your district website, copy their district events calendar link, and throw that in a custom URL navigation menu item. Let's carry on. I've got 5 more example sites to show you guys. These ones do have more effort, or in this case, Rotary of Toronto, we had assisted with customizing their website. Let's go ahead and pull up the Rotary of Toronto website. I'm just copying it here, and then press enter. There we are. So we had worked with the Rotary Club of Toronto to design their website. So there is some custom coding that went into designing this website, as well as CSS, a style sheet you can apply to your website that changes how certain carousels or contact us widgets appear on the website. Michael will touch on CSS. We wouldn't be able to instruct how to make HTML code, but we can show you guys where you can upload that and manage the code after it's been uploaded to the website. So do keep in mind as I show you guys around, I shouldn't say some, but this website has been coded in Club Runner. It's completely on Club Runner. So they've got a carousel widget at the top. It looks like none of the icons are showing, just here on the left and right arrows, but they could throw more links and text into them like I showed. Below, they've got a manually updated speakers widget, but they also have the scrollable stories layout just below. And here's where the custom code really begins. They've got a custom background for one of their bands with links and images that sort of pop up, and as well as these layouts and tables that show more information about the website. If your club is interested in having Club Runner assist with designing something like this, I'll quickly step away from the website to show you our services page. So I'm going to go ahead and open a new tab, clubrunner.ca. And this is our website, our homepage, I should say. From the top, if we go to resources, we can click professional services. And scrolling down our services, we're looking for the custom design and graphics. So quotes starting at $1,500, though, if you guys have an idea of what you have in mind for the website, say you have an example and you quickly mock it up, you can share that with us by emailing us at support@clubrunner.ca, and you could say, we're interested in having Club Runner assist with designing our website. Here's a mock-up and what we want to appear on the homepage. We would need that scope. We can work with our accounts team to get a quote. It may not be $1,500. We would have to work with our sales team to nail that down after getting an idea of what the club wants, and then we could start working with you guys to build your website. So do keep in mind that is an option. If you guys have a mock-up or an idea of what you want, we need that scope to have that idea of what you guys want, and then we can quote how much it would be to design something like that. Okay, let's go back to our example site. I'm going to go ahead and close our services page. They've got a counter that sort of live updated as we scrolled through it. They've also added a features and projects initiatives. Much of this is custom coded, so there's these arrow icons and so on. So the level of effort for something like this would be much greater, or if you guys are interested in working with us to design something like that, there is that option on our professional services pages at clubrunner.ca. I just wanted to show you guys this website to see how far you can take Club Runner. If you have those resources who can design HTML, or if you guys have the funds, you can reach out to us with that idea, that scope of what you want from the website, and we can get a quote to help you design your website. Okay, let's move on to the last club and organization website I have here, Castro Valley Rotary. Let's go ahead and just paste that in and go enter. There we are. And I should have organized this to be further up the list, but Castro Valley has a more simple design. There is a lot of information to give the visitors, all of that information at the start. They've got their homepage stories widget here, but they also have the mini calendar to get people to click elsewhere, as well as the club's contact information. So if anybody's interested in reaching out to the club, it's right there right away on the homepage. So they're not using a carousel. They've just got this 3 columns, and what's capturing the visitors is this homepage stories widget. It's got those big images, the text, the links, getting people to click to view stuff. We've got some photo albums they're linked to. They've also got their speakers information. The one, I guess, feedback I'd have is that the homepage does sort of scroll on, but again, we can manage that with the layouts selected for the homepage stories widget, or setting an items to display for the homepage stories widget. So there are a few options on managing that homepage length if you like all the widgets you have, but are looking to reduce how long the page goes. Okay. I hope you guys can still hear me. I see my camera is not, I don't see the preview of myself, but let's carry on. I do have the district websites I'd want to show you here. So let's go ahead and close this out. And close this out, Richmond Rotary. Let's pull up rotary7070.org. I'm just going to go ahead and copy that address and press enter. And I guess I should say I've got about another 2 more examples. We'll wrap up in about 5 minutes here. I'll give the session over to Michael to answer your questions. I'll be monitoring the Q&A box too, so please continue to share your questions with us. We'll probably wrap up here in the next 20 minutes. And thank you again so much for attending. I see most of us have stuck around till the very end, so thank you again. So here we're on Rotary 7070. They've got a carousel. It looks like they've used a different transition style. So if you open up your carousel, you can click the gear icon instead of that outbound arrow icon and choose the transition style, sort of like the homepage stories widget. We went to that settings section and layout. There's a transition field for dynamic carousel. So they're using this fade transition. They've really thrown in plenty of links in their menu, and it looks like they're using some CSS to have icons appear in their navigation menu. So they have a direct link to their Twitter or Facebook page. But if you don't have that knowledge, you can just put in a social media folder and then join us on Twitter, join us on Facebook, and then just link those navigation menu items to your Facebook page or your Twitter page. So if you don't have those skills, that's okay. You can just enter the text with folders, just generally title them social media, and then people can click through. Scrolling down, they've got that scrollable homepage stories widget, and they've kept it all in a left primary bar and right sidebar, but it doesn't seem to scroll on too much. They've got their events on the right side, some custom widgets they've added some titles to, embedded a video on, and yeah, and that's Rotary 7070. Let's go ahead and pull up District 5010. I'm just going to go ahead and paste their website address in. So again, pulling up their homepage, they've got that full homepage. This one doesn't have custom CSS, but I like what they've done. They've used a different transition style for their carousel. I believe this is called Cover Flow. Again, check out that gear icon on your carousel widget to try out these different transitions. I like this one a lot. I think it's really, really catchy. So they've got that dynamic carousel with that Cover Flow transition. It looks like this is just a text widget with an image in the top left and some text in the top right, and then more text below just for people to read. There is a link to their membership page for more membership information and a contact to their membership chair. So they're really in touch with their visitors. Scrolling down, looks like they've just made a custom widget with the district governor's profile picture and name, another embedded video. I really like seeing embedded videos. It's something people can click and then just stay on your page. They just spend 2, 3, 5 minutes just watching it, and then they go around to other pages. They're like, what else can I learn about this organization? So then they scroll down after watching the video, and then they try to click stuff. So in this case, they've got another stories widget. This is their first homepage stories widget in the columns layout, where people can click all those projects and stories from that widget. And they've got another custom widget in this case with a link and a notice about Ukraine. Okay, so that's our second last district. I want to go to District 7030, and then we're done with the example sites. Let's go ahead and pull it up. rotarydistrict7030.org. And this is a more straightforward website. It's actually using one of our classic themes, which is fine. They've got their big banner at the top to just garner that attention, and then below they've filled it up with information and links, which is super important. They've got their 2 flyer images, a little about section which pulls up a read more link. Looks like this is the homepage stories or homepage news widget, so people can click the title or the read more link to pull up that story on the website. We've got another similar district governor, or you could do this for your club president. There is a president's message widget which pulls their profile image, but if you're looking for a different image, you can just make a custom widget with their title and the name like District 7030 and 5010 have done. They've also set up a donation page. This seems to go to a third-party website, so I'm not going to click it, but they've added their own custom donate button and link that as well. And they have that mini calendar widget with all their events highlighted and so on. So definitely poke around with the designer. I do want to note that while you're designing your page, it's a good idea to keep the length limited. Looking at the district's page here, it does seem to go a little long, but managing that length is part of designing the website, and just keeping the content brief but informative. Maybe a video helps fill in the gaps. Yeah, so definitely try out all those tools, all those widgets. You really can just customize custom pages to how you want them, and then link them in different places in the navigation menu, links widgets, and then sort of link back to them, create that tree of links for your website. Okay, I'll pass on our session to Michael once he's ready. But I hope you guys took away a lot about designing the website, trying out those embedded videos, pulling in those forms. Michael will have more to share, and I'll be answering your questions as well. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Omar. So you had a really great webinar. A lot of the information that you gave was really helpful, and I hope everyone that did attend the webinar today was able to take all the information away, and we'll be able to put it to some great use. Now, before I do get started with the Q&A session, I did want to make a quick note. Unfortunately, during the middle of the webinar, I had a little bit of a power outage. And when I had joined back, a lot of the questions that you guys had asked were no longer available for me to take a look at. So if I was unable to get to any of your questions, you can either feel free to put them back in, and Omar will be able to get to them as we are going through today, or I would like to share our clubrunnersupport.com website. So if I just go ahead and I steal the screen share from Omar really quickly.
Just to interject, sorry to interject, Michael. I do see the questions, and I'll take care. I see Carrie and Anthony have shared some questions, so I'll be sure to get them. But please feel free to show them the contact. Thank you. Thank you again, Michael.
Thank you, Omar. So yeah, just as I was saying, we do have our clubrunnersupport.com knowledge base. So if for any reason we were unable to get to your question during the webinar today, I do highly recommend you go to clubrunnersupport.com, and then in the top right corner, you can go ahead and click on the Contact Us button, where you'll be able to fill out a quick email form and send our support team an email with any questions or issues that you might be running into, and we'll be glad to respond back and assist the best that we can. So with that said, I will go ahead and I'll bring up a couple of common questions that we do receive from a lot of different customers. So the first thing is a lot of customers, they like to be able to go in and they like to be able to keep track of their website statistics, like the amount of people that will visit their page, how they choose to navigate around. And people like to keep track of information like that, like what pages are popular and for things like that. So one of the great tools that you can use is something called Google Analytics. If you're not familiar with Google Analytics in this case, this is a tool from Google that you can implement into your Club Runner website, and it will allow the Google Analytics platform to start gathering information about the individuals that are coming to your website, specifically for things like which pages they're accessing, which pages they spend the most time on, what pages are getting the most clicks, all of that sort of information, like how long are they on the website. So this is all some information that you can track and you can take a look at using Google Analytics. Now, back on our clubrunnersupport.com website, we do have a really good article that'll guide you through this entire process. So if we go to the support knowledge base and we put in Google Analytics into the search bar up at the top, you'll see that this first article will show up, how to track website statistics with Google Analytics. This entire article will bring you through the process of setting up your own Google Analytics account and setting this up to work with Club Runner. Now, I should note that very recently, Google has released a newer version of Google Analytics, which is called Google Analytics 4. This is not currently supported by Club Runner, though it is something we would like to support in a future update. But for the time being, you will have to use the old legacy version of Google Analytics, which is titled Universal Analytics here. So this article will guide you through the process of setting up Universal Analytics in this case. And then once you are good to go, you can go ahead and take what's called the Universal Analytics code, and you can input that into your Club Runner website to enable the tracking, and it will allow the system to start tracking all of this information for you. So once you've been able to go through and you've set up Google Analytics through Google itself, and it's ready for you to connect it to Club Runner, what you can do is you can go back to your club's member area. And in the top blue navigation menu, we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on Website and then Website Designer. And then along the left side, we see a couple of different options here. We have Home, Designer, Themes, and Settings. In this case, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the Settings section. And this is the page that Omar had shown you towards the start of the webinar, where you have a bunch of different things that you can access. In this case, we're going to go to the analytics heading of this page, and we're going to click Add Google Analytics. From here, you'll be able to enter in your Universal Analytics tracking ID into this field. And you'll see this, it has the format of UA-XXX-Y. So if yours is not in that same format, you might be using the Google Analytics 4 version, which is not currently supported. So once you've been able to put in that tracking ID, you can go ahead and click Save. And with that, the system will then be able to start, the Google Analytics system will start tracking all of this information, and it'll start displaying it within the Google Analytics dashboard. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you the dashboard itself or how to set up the Google Analytics Google Analytics process in this webinar today. But that article that I did show off does provide a really good process. It's very detailed, and it'll guide you step by step how to get everything set up on Google's end. And then if you need to have any questions, you can always access the Google support knowledge base articles as well for additional information. Now, as an additional note for this, once you set up your Google Analytics tracking code, it may take up to 48 hours for the website to start actually tracking your information or to start gathering information from your website so that the information will actually be displayed. So just a note on that. Now, if we go back to our settings page, another common question that we get is that while Club Runner does provide a bunch of pre-formatted themes or pre-created themes, I should say, that you can change the colors of, and you can change the general layout and how you want it to be. If your club doesn't necessarily like these themes that we have created for you, you can go ahead and you can create your own themes using HTML and CSS. And you'll be able to go through and you can upload your own CSS style sheet to Club Runner so that you can use that instead of the pre-generated themes that Club Runner has provided. So we are still on this website settings page. Now, if we go to under the website heading instead, you'll see the upload CSS option. Now, again, this is for advanced users only. If you take a look at this, if you're familiar with CSS or HTML, you can feel free to play around with this. If not, I don't recommend touching it. But again, if you do want that 100% customizability, this is a really great way to go about it. So if you go ahead and click Upload CSS, it'll bring you to this page where you can then go and we can upload our CSS style sheets. So in order to upload our CSS style sheet, you're going to go ahead and click on the Add CSS file. And this will provide you with a prompt to select the CSS file from your computer's hard drive. So it will need to be stored on your local computer before you can upload it. Now, once you upload your CSS file, you might notice that the styling hasn't taken place on the website quite yet. And that's because of the theme setting here down at the bottom. Currently, we have the theme setting as enabled, which means that Club Runner will ignore any CSS files that you may have uploaded and will use the currently selected system theme or the Club Runner pre-generated theme in order to display your website. If you want to use your custom CSS file, you will need to click on this Edit Setting button and then click on Disable Theme Setting. And that will disable this theme for us. And now, just to show this to you, if we go to our new website beta and go into our homepage designer, you'll see it still looks like this. But if we go ahead and publish our page and then go back to View Live Page, you can see that the website looks a little bit broken now. So this, in this case, since we didn't upload our own CSS styling sheet, this is what the page looks like in the raw HTML without any extra styling going on. So if you guys ever see this going on with your website, I recommend double check that theme setting is currently enabled. Otherwise, reach out to our support team. But should we have uploaded our own style sheet, and since we've disabled that themes option, it will start to use that CSS style sheet that we've uploaded. But in this case, since we didn't, there isn't anything for it to display. So let's go ahead and go back and we can re-enable it for our website by clicking on Edit Setting one more time, and then Enable Theme Setting. And then if we go back to our homepage and refresh, you can see it's right back to normal. Since we were on the topic, I did see there was a question in the chat or in the Q&A section whether there was a fee for Google Analytics. No, Google Analytics is completely free to use. There may be some additional features that are locked behind a paywall by Google, but in general, the Google Analytics platform is entirely free. There was one final question that I did want to go over. And this is in regards to like images that you might upload to your club's website. Occasionally, when uploading an image to your website and you're posting it on a story or anything like that, you may notice that the image is coming in sideways or in the incorrect orientation. This is due to how due to the way the image or rotation information is stored within the image itself. Oftentimes, when you're taking a photo with a camera and you are taking it in a landscape or a portrait or the portrait orientation, your camera will automatically apply what's called metadata to the image itself, so that the camera can determine which way is the correct way to view it. For example, so if you take that image, you might take it in the portrait view, but instead of as a portrait view, by default, it's still technically a landscape shot, but that metadata will tell it to rotate so that you are viewing it in that portrait view instead. Now, when you upload an image to Club Runner that has that metadata attached, it can cause it to appear in that rotated view, and it'll appear incorrectly on the website. So we always recommend going through and attempting to remove that metadata before uploading it to Club Runner so that it appears in the correct orientation. A really common way and really easy way that you can do that, if you are on a Windows device, you can open up the Paint or the Paint application on your computer. You can open up your image within this Paint application, and then you can simply save a new copy of that image. That'll strip all of that extra metadata away from the image, and it'll save it in a format that is supported by ClubRunner and will allow it to be displayed in the correct orientation. With all of that said, we are a little bit over time, so I'm going to be ending the Q&A session there. I hope this webinar was incredibly helpful for you guys and is a great way for you to get in and start using the ClubRunner Live Designers. Before we do get going, again, please do visit our clubrunnersupport.com website. We have hundreds of different articles and videos, and you can reach out to our support team really easily if you have any questions that might not be answered. You can also go to our clubrunnercommunity.com website and log in with the same credentials that you would for your club's regular website. And this is our online forums where you can go through and you can start discussions with other users of ClubRunner, so you can get information like some of the best practices that other people have found. If you have any feedback or suggestions that you want to share with our team, you can go ahead and you can post that here. And we also go through and we post any news or announcements or things that we're updating on the platform through the ClubRunner community. So if you guys want to keep up to date with what we're doing, I recommend that you check out this community here. So I do recommend, again, if you want to reach out, either use the ClubRunner support or knowledge base contact us button, or you can send an email to support@clubrunner.ca. Definitely check out the clubrunnercommunity.com website. And if you guys do want a club dashboard, a directory on your phone that you can use at the tip of your fingertips, go to clubrunner.com/mobile, where you'll be able to download the ClubRunner mobile app for either your iPhone or Android devices. And you'll be able to log in and have access to that directory right through your phone. Again, thank you all for joining us today. I hope all of the information that we had shown off was very helpful and you took away some good practices from the webinar. Take care, guys.